Hello, this is Craig Lane with talking about the Forge. My business is called Health Alchemy, and what we're doing today is just a simple overview because the Forge is an ongoing event. And we're going to start out with just what's the vision of this, what's the mission, what's the vision of the Forge. So the vision and the mission of the Forge is there's a number of us looking at getting a co-housing eco-village, healing retreat center. There's a lot of different terminology you could put towards that. But really, it's about, the Forge is about a training ground to being in community and being and seeing ourselves. And right now it's a monthly event on the fourth Saturday of every month. And it's a little more structured than our community dinners, which are the second and the fourth Fridays of the month here at Health Alchemy. So the Forge is, we can go right over to our little whiteboard. So it's an evening of self-exploration, meaning it's here for each of us to look at what are my puzzle pieces of my jigsaw puzzle that make up me. And you're doing this in a group setting. And we're starting out with some basic, if you want to come early, between 5 and 7, or 6 and 7, you can come and have some food. There's always some food out in a potluck. Usually leftovers and usually stuff that I can put together on the property here very quickly and easily. So tonight's less about the food than the community dinner, which was last night's more about the food. This is more about coming together, having a little bit of food so we feel comfortable in our body. That's the thing, is enough food to feel comfortable, but not so much to feel so comfortable that we're going to be fatigued. And because we're examining ourselves, and if we're tired, then we're not going to be able to do that. And by the way, that's one of the mechanisms that we look at, is if we start to get tired and we've had a good night's sleep, then it's often because we're up against some psychological barriers and emotional and psychic barriers that don't want us to move forward potentially, or we don't. So so silence is one. A busy mind is another. ADD distractions are two main things I see in groups. The fatigue and, kind of like the finger, hi. The fatigue and then the ADD mind. Because we're all up against a lot of cognitive dissonance right now. There's a lot of people waking up to some of the things I've been looking at for 30 or 35 years. So welcome to the Jack Nicholson line. You can't handle the truth. Yes, we can. And that's what we're doing here. So there's a little model here that I have of the Forge. It's a conceptual, just a real simple thing you can look at here. So if you look here, you see the Forge. You see this reddish circle here. That would represent us in our current configuration. And then you see there's these smaller pieces of it with two new purple ones here at the bottom. I don't know if that comes through on the video or not, but so this is what we do at the Forge, is right here. We're examining ourselves. We're examining our pieces that make up the total of what we are. And then this is part of alchemy. It's why my business is called Health Alchemy. Alchemy is about self-examination, pulling the pieces apart, examining each of the pieces that makes up what we are, and then putting them back together in a new person, ideally, which is the last stage here. So we put it all back together in the new person. So with that being said, then it isn't that simple, because there's other complications that happen in this process. We would love to make it be that simple. But the Forge is here to help us understand the process of where it goes wrong. Because we don't make a new self. We make a new self pretty much every moment, in my opinion. But what we're really looking at is making a new functional self. More functional, more peace, more satisfaction, more energy, more love, more ability to receive, all the above. So we'll flip that back around. And we're going to end our short video on what the Forge is with this little, we'll hold this up here kind of closer. So the Forge is about examining ourselves with support and reflection and challenge. I like the idea of, the Forge is an oven, folks. So, and you've got this oven and you're being cooked and you add all your ingredients and, like wheat flour and eggs and sugar and all the pieces that make up a muffin or a cookie individually aren't that great. But when you put them all together, you end up with, that's really cute. We put them all together, you end up with this thing that's better than they were individually, and that's kind of what we're looking at. We pull ourselves apart, look at what we're doing, and then put ourselves back together. And So it's going to be a lot of all three. And I'm the guy that's going to be down here on the challenge piece a little more than other events, challenging us to be better. And we might challenge ourselves. So what I would ask everybody is, do you give yourself enough reflection, or do you get it all from others? Do you challenge yourself enough, or is it all through others? Or is it lack there? And do you give yourself support, and do you allow it from others? And then the bottom part shows at the forge we're looking at our comfort zone, our growth zone, and our panic and unstable zone, and where those boundaries are. Because we're going to get our buttons pushed in life, and chances are the forge will get our buttons pushed in a good way. So, this is Craig Lane with just a real, every night, we do this, which is the fourth Saturday of every month. There's a little different theme, so the theme can vary month to month. And check it out. It's on our Facebook page, it's on my website, and we'd love to have any of you. And we'd also like to have guest speakers. So if you're wanting to present something, last month we had a family constellation, and we've had at the community dinner last night, we had an essential oil presentation. So I'm here to support the community. I'm here to support what we're doing, make a better world, and that's what this event is about, is training ground for community, real, true community, where love is unconditional to the best we can have it, because, there's lots of different forms of love, and sometimes the tough love is the hardest one to receive. So that's kind of what the Forge is about, coming through and seeing love in a different way than the traditional sort of empty and shallow ways we've been taught, that it's just this romantic thing. There's a lot more aspects to love than what we've been trained and to taught. So, Craig Lane signing off with the Forge. Looking forward to seeing each and every one of you at some point. Bye-bye.